Today, I wanted to share about how you can actually make money between launches. So, I'm actually recording this video ahead of time because I think when you see this, I will be in Mexico. And I was thinking about my trip and my business. Somehow it was all intertwining in my mind. And I remember the first time I ever went to Mexico, I was going to the same place that I'm going to now. And I was really, really new to my business. So I had a handful of clients and I was really living client to client. I had also just made some big moves. Like I think I just signed a lease to move to the city. And I did, so I was leaving my job where I was currently living and I didn't even really know how I was going to pay rent. The following month, you got to pay first and last. But like the next month, I really didn't know because at that point in time, I wasn't making consistent sales every single month, every single week. I was really like getting a client, working with that client, and then hoping I would get a client. And I know that like that's pretty normal for when you first start your business. And so I wanted to share with you how now I make sales every day, even while I'm on vacation, I will absolutely be making sales, and how you can do that in between launches. So if you don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to launching, that I have tons of videos on that, so go check that out. But I really believe that you need two strong strategies for making sales all the time. The first strategy is your launch strategy. And this is the thing. And if you do this right, you should have planned appropriately where you're going to make as much money as you want to make or need to make to get your bases covered, pay your bills, whatever, pay your team for the entire quarter in just one launch. So over the course of 2 weeks when you're launching, in that time, you should bring in enough sales that last you for all 3 months so that the next month you're not like, I got to launch again. So having a really solid launch strategy that you execute effectively will allow you to have buffer and a little bit more freedom in the other months. But you might also want to make some money in between launches as well, right? And that's where your evergreen sales strategy comes into play. So yes, I want you making the good chunk of your sales, maybe all of the sales that you need for the quarter in your one launch. But also, you need to have some systems set up in your funnel or in what you're doing every single day, whether it's in your non-negotiables or not, that allow you to make sales every day. So number one thing to do is to have in your funnel a passive income product or multiple. Start with one. don't get ahead of yourself. Start with one that leads to your main offer. And so it ends up actually helping you make more of those big sales. But then you can also keep adding more, maybe self-liquidating offers and things like that. I teach that inside MPQ. So that's the first thing. Have a passive income product that you can sell all the time that's not time bound. So it doesn't require you to show up and actually fulfill it and automate the payment, the delivery, all of that stuff, the onboarding of that product. That way you can be driving traffic or talking about it in your content or having your recycled content automated all the time, leading people to that product. And while you're on vacation or while you're sleeping, you should be making sales of that product. I love waking up every morning and seeing on my phone payment from PayPal, notification from Stripe, and just seeing those payments come in while I sleep. It's one of the best feelings, and that's one great way that you can make sure that you're making money between launches. And the second one is to have opportunities for people to either book calls with you or to join your programs between launches. So if your course, and this doesn't work for every type of course, but I'm kind of recommending more and more to my clients to create courses that have revolving door enrollment. So people can join at any time. It's not that we start on March 1st and we end on April 31st, 30th. I think there's only 30 days in April. It's not as time bound if possible. Sometimes it's not possible, but ideally, if people can join all the time, you leave yourself a lot of opportunity to take calls in between launches or to have people just join in between launches so that you can make a big chunk of your sales during launch, but then in between, you're always bringing in new clients. That's going to continue to help with that income that I know you need, or just help you hit that profit goal without needing to have all of it all at once. So if you're always growing your community, you're probably going to have new leads who are warm at different stages at different times. They might not all be ready at the exact same time during your launch period. If you do your launch correctly, then a lot of them will be, but it's not always the case, right? So if you can create revolving door enrollment and have opportunities in your content, in your funnel, in your ads for people to either book a call with you or to straight up join your program between launches, that's going to be really, really essential. And something that coupled with that passive income product is going to help you feel really secure in between each launch and not feel like, oh, if I didn't hit my launch goal perfectly, then I'm kind of going to be scrambling before the next launch. And that's just not good, energy, but also it's not great because you probably want to generate some new leads and maybe pay for some of those leads before your next launch. So you do want to have some wiggle room and some money to be able to, put towards paid marketing. So those are the two things that I really see now are making a huge difference. But also the last thing is having more of a long-term strategy. So I kind of mentioned at the beginning of this, I was really living client to client, and I would think, okay, how do I get my next client? And I would just focus on that. And then I would get the client and be like, okay, let's make this client super happy. And I would focus on, onboarding, delivery, all of that stuff. And I would kind of go dark everywhere else. And then, then suddenly I would finish up with that client and be like, shit, I need that next client. So now I'm marketing, and, it's that on and off that just really created a lot of stress. Whereas now I always have marketing going on. I always have growth happening. I always have sales and offers going out. So even when I'm just starting with one client, then another client is already getting warm and maybe getting, nourished before they're ready to make that next offer. But also the delivery and the onboarding of working with that client, you can automate as much as possible. So you don't feel like, okay, I have to put all my attention into delivering to this client and I don't have any time to do the growth, marketing, sales, other automations, all of that stuff for my next client. So maybe that's a lot of things. The two that I would focus on first are your passive income product and making sure that your course or your program can have a revolving door or evergreen enrollment. And then after that, making sure you have a longer term marketing strategy that's going to support you no matter where your potential client is in their client journey or where you are in your business with how busy you are, or if you're in Mexico or whatever is going on. So I hope you enjoy that, and I will catch up with you guys when I'm back.